has this huge, bold ambition to become a developed nation, what's being called Viksit Bharat. But this entire vision, this massive national project, it doesn't really rest on just new roads or factories. It actually hinges on something way more fundamental, the quality of its people. And to really get what that means, we first have to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the opportunity here.
27%. What is that? Well, that's the share of India's entire population that's in the school-going age group. I mean, think about that. That isn't just a statistic, it's a colossal demographic advantage. It's a human resource potential that is almost unmatched anywhere else on the planet.
And right there, that's the central question, isn't it? That's the ultimate challenge we're going to dig into today. Because look, having the numbers is one thing, but actually unlocking all that potential, that is a completely different ballgame. It's the story of moving from just quantity to quality.
Okay, so let's start with the first pillar of that human capital, education. Now, the story here isn't simple. It's really a tale of two very different phases. The first phase was all about building the system itself, and on that front, honestly, the achievement has been nothing short of staggering.
India's first great victory was basically a logistical miracle, building one of the largest school systems on Earth. And these numbers show you it wasn't just about putting up walls. It was about creating places where kids could actually learn. I mean, nearly every school has drinking water. 97% have girls' toilets, which is absolutely crucial for keeping girls in school. And 90% have electricity. This was the foundational work, tackling the massive challenge of access for millions.
But here's the thing. Building the schools, that was only step one. Now comes the next level challenge. Because even with this incredible infrastructure in place, there's a problem brewing. Students aren't staying. And this is where the story pivots from a huge success to a new and much more complex challenge.
This chart shows us what's being called the dropout cliff. And you can see why. In the early years, the pipeline is full. You've got over 2 crore students in grade 5. But as we move up through the grades, the numbers just plummet. By the time you get to grade 12, nearly half of those students are gone. This isn't just a small leak in the system, it's a hemorrhage of human potential.
So the big question is, why is this happening? Well, the data tells a very clear and pretty tough story. For almost half of the adolescents who drop out, it's to help supplement the family income. And that pressure, it falls really heavily on boys. For girls, the story's different, but it's just as powerful. More than a quarter leave to handle domestic chores at home. So you see, these aren't just educational failures. They're the economic and social realities pulling kids right out of the system.
But, in the face of this huge challenge, there are these incredible stories of innovation popping up. Take the subject friend model from a school in Maharashtra. They were facing teacher shortages, so what did they do? They empowered older students to mentor the younger ones. And the crucial part is, this wasn't some top-down directive from the government. It was a community-led solution that not only boosted learning, but also built confidence and participation. It just goes to show that sometimes the best answers are found at the grassroots level.
All right, let's switch gears to the second pillar of human capital, health. And, just like with education, the story here starts with a massive victory before it shifts to a brand new, modern battlefield.
The progress here has been truly historic. I mean, just look at this. In a single decade, India slashed its infant mortality rate from 40 deaths per 1,000 births all the way down to 25. That reflects huge gains in things like neonatal care, immunizations, and public health infrastructure. It's a genuine public health triumph.
But this very victory has created a new kind of challenge. See, as people live longer and lifestyles change, the diseases that affect us also change. There's a name for this, the epidemiological transition. But India's situation is uniquely complex. It's facing what's called a double burden. It's still fighting off those traditional infectious diseases, while at the same time confronting a massive surge in chronic non-communicable ones.
And if you want to understand the sheer scale of this new crisis, just look at this number, 57%. That's the percentage of all deaths in India now caused by these non-communicable diseases, or NCDs. The main health battlefield has totally shifted, from fighting infections to promoting prevention.
So what's driving this crisis? Well, one of the single biggest factors is a dramatic and incredibly rapid change in what India eats. We really need to talk about the ultra-processed food problem.
Just look at the speed of this change. It's wild. Back in 2006, the market for ultra-processed foods in India was less than $1 billion. Fast forward to 2019, and it had exploded to $38 billion. That is a staggering 40-fold increase in just over a decade. This isn't just a trend, it's a full-blown dietary revolution, and it has profound consequences for public health.
And those consequences? Well, they're laid bare right here in this next chart. Over that exact same period, obesity rates more than doubled for both men and women. When you see these two trends side by side, the correlation is just impossible to ignore, and it's deeply worrying for the nation's long-term health.
Now, the good news is that we're not flying blind here. There are clear policy solutions being discussed. And these aren't just vague ideas, they are concrete actions. Things like restricting the aggressive marketing of these foods, especially to kids, implementing mandatory, easy-to-read warning labels right on the front of packages so you know exactly what you're buying, and even introducing taxes on the unhealthiest products to, nudge people towards better choices.
So when you take a step back and you look at both education and health together, one single really powerful theme starts to emerge. The challenge for India is no longer just about scale. It's about a strategic shift in thinking, a shift needed to build a truly future-ready nation.
And here's that strategic shift in a nutshell. In education, it means moving beyond just getting kids in school and rote learning and moving towards critical thinking and real-world skills. In health, it's about shifting the whole focus from just treating sickness to actively preventing it in the first place. And in how things are run, in governance, it's about realizing that the best solutions, like that subject-friend model, often come from empowering communities, not just issuing orders from the top.
So look, the demographic advantage is undeniable. The raw potential is absolutely there. But to realize that potential, it's going to require a profound shift in mindset, from quantity to quality, from access to excellence. India has the numbers. The real question, the one that's going to define its century, is whether it has the vision to build the future.